Can you discuss pros and cons of being a twist out natural versus wash and go? What was your journey one to the other? Well, multi wiglet, tis a juicy idea. Hello everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink, a natural hair channel where I share my personal hair journey and tips, tricks, and product reviews to help you with your own. We are back with another personal hair journey video. Of course, as you guys saw, I was requested to make this video. I think it's going to be one of those like subscriber development relationship type videos, because I honestly don't think anyone's going to be searching for this content, but I felt like it was good to flesh out my story to you guys and let you know a little bit more about me. So if you did not know, I used to be a twist out natural. In fact, when I first went natural, I didn't know how to do any other hairstyle, y'all. I didn't know how to do a single thing, but I did know about the tightly curly method. Okay, that's Terry LaFleshe's method of using a whole lot of conditioner to style your hair. Terry, of course, does a wash and go, which I just didn't see that as doable for me at the time, which is funny, I know. But I did eventually get around to coming back to that last year and actually doing the tightly curly method as a wash and go. I'll link to the video. But I used her method, but instead I did a twist out. And so I would put the twist in. They were mini twist. I would wear the twist for like the first half of the week, and then I would take them out and wear a twist out for the second half of the week. And then I got more into like low manipulation, and I began to wear the twist for a week. And then I wore the twist and a twist out updo for another week, and then I would rinse them to get them to hang back down, and then once they dried I would wear a twist out, and then I would wear a twist out updo for the fourth week. Child, don't say what you think. Don't. Leave me alone now. Leave me alone. So I maintained this routine for, I want to say, maybe a year or so. I had shoulder length hair, like, you know, if it was straightened, I had shoulder length hair when I first went natural. And so after a year or so, whatever, my hair began to get a little bit longer than that, getting close to armpit length and all that. And so I stopped doing the twist out routine. So here are the pros of this while I was still in the throes of being a twist out natural. I got my iPad here so I don't forget. So a pro, simple products. Okay, that was a definite pro. I was using the tightly curly method at the time, and so for a twist out, really, you don't really need much to make a twist out work. I literally only used rinse out conditioner. I used Tresemme conditioner. They're not cruelty free yet. I need y'all to work on that. And then I also used Aussie moist conditioner, and those were the two that I used to twist my hair. It produces a beautiful twist out. It has a little bit of hold. My twist out lasted the whole week, never redoing, never retwisting or anything like that, and it was nice and shiny and it smelled good. So the products were very, very simple. I see, before this year I would have said that I wouldn't be able to be that simple with my wash and go, but of course that's been proven wrong. I was able to achieve a wash and go with just conditioner. Again, I said I was going to link it. I probably have already by now. So simple products was definitely a pro. Another one, no technique or product learning curve. None. When I was a twist out natural, literally all you have to do is learn how to put your hair in a twist, which most people can do. I will say that there's a little bit of like unintentional technique. I noticed, like, I really was watching myself. You know, you sometimes watch something that you always do and you just think about it differently than you typically do. I was having one of them moments with the twist, and I realized that as I'm twisting, I'm kind of like twisting the strands and twisting them onto each other at the same time, and I'm doing that automatically. So yeah, that's a little bit of a technique thing, but I didn't have to learn that technique. Like literally the first time I put twists in my hair ever, they worked. Also, with a wash and go, you kind of have to learn, like, okay, well, with this type of product you need to do this, and this is how to get the best out of that. And then there was none of that. It was literally slap conditioner on my hair. I know that it's going to work. Twist, throw the twist in. I know that they're going to work. I didn't have to learn how to get a better twist out. I don't feel I had to learn anything. Okay, and then last pro was it was very, very easy to monitor my ends. When I was a twist out natural, I was putting my hair in twist every single week at one point. And so if you're not familiar with how twists work on natural hair, typically you can twirl your fingers around on the end and it'll stay. It'll like seal the twist, right? Well, if your ends are trashy and crappy, you're gonna be able to see that because you're gonna get done with your twist, you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna be like, oh, but wait a minute, sis. And so it's easier to keep track of ends that won't coil, and then you're doing such small sections for the twist that you really get like a fine view of what your ends are doing. And so an excellent way to keep track of your ends. Now all of this does not come without some cons, and there were some cons for me being a twist out wearing natural. Okay, first one, time consuming to install. This was a really big one, a really big one, very, very time consuming. Like I said, I started with like shoulder length hair. So shoulder length hair didn't take that long to do. The twists were like up here by my eyes. And you know, I could throw them in maybe like less than an hour. As my hair got longer, the time it took me to do the twist got longer. I mean, it was taking well over an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was like, oh no, I can't do this anymore. Of course, now I'm a much faster twister than I was back then, being that I've been natural much longer. So I could throw some twist in and blah, 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 blah. Probably almost at the same rate as young Kayla took to put in the short hair twist. So there's that, very, very time consuming. And that was part of the reason why I stopped being a twist out natural, but I'll get on that in a second. And that leads me to my second and final con, is that your ends have to be on point. If you have crappy ends with twist or twist out, it is extremely obvious. It takes away from the style. In fact, that's kind of what led to me cutting a drastic amount of my hair off. Yes, it was on camera. It's a video called Bye Bye Hair. Girl, might as well link that too. And in that video, I had come back from wearing, I was out and I had twist. And the ends of the twist just looked so busted. I'm talking inches of just busted looking ends. And I was like, oh no. And I sat there and I took each twist and I bloop, bloop. And it was drastic amounts of hair. People thought it was clickbait because the picture is like the pile of the cut hair. I'm like, no sis, that's actually my hair in the picture. That's how much I cut. I sent the picture to my mom and she said, do you have any hair left in your head? So having ratty ends is definitely not great with twists. It looks awful. There is nothing like healthy, juicy ends in a set of twists, I'm telling you. So let me tell you what happened after I stopped being a twist out natural, okay? So it was time consuming and the products were so simple and I was beginning to have a little bit of product FOMO, like fear of missing out. And I wanted to get back into the hairstyles that I did when I was relaxed and when I was transitioning. And those were braid outs and Bantu knot outs. I love those hairstyles. They're also a larger section, so they don't take as long to do. And so I want to remaster them because my old techniques that I used to achieve these hairstyles just weren't working when I went natural. Because best believe, as soon as I cut my hair off, I tried the hairstyles that I thought I had mastered and they did not work anymore. So I eventually learned how to do those hairstyles again, and I became a braid out primarily with occasional Bantu knot out natural. And I wore my hair like that for a couple of years. And I quite enjoyed it. And I had like a routine where if I was wearing a braid out, I would refresh my hair in the middle of the week. And that was like clockwork. That was the weekly routine. So how I became a wash and go natural is that eventually I began to experience dryness in my hair. It was to the point where I was looking at one of my videos and I saw where my hair was soaking wet, but it looked absolutely dry in the video. Like there was no water on it. And some people's hair, that's just a natural property of their hair. But for me, I know that that's not the case. I know how my hair looks when it's wet and it wasn't that. So I was like, oh no, you know, my hair was really dry, and I stumbled across the max hydration method. I know. And so I fell in with that. And the only practical hairstyle to wear when you are doing the maximum hydration method is a wash and go. That is the only hairstyle that you can do all the things that the maximum hydration method requires while still having your hair be done. You know, you go outside, you look like something. So I'm gonna tell you, the first wash and goes were trash. My hair did not look that good because I did not know what I was doing. I did not know what products I should be using. I was just really a total babe. Like I knew nothing. But I saw enough of something with those early days. I saw enough of something that I knew that I could wear wash and goes. And so as my wash and go technique improved, as I learned more about products, unfortunately, the quality of my hair declined. And so eventually I did do a chop myself, and then I did the whole twist situation I was talking about earlier where I cut even more of my hair off, and then I did eventually have my hair professionally cut, and she had to, of course, cut a decent amount of my hair off to create the shape that I currently have now. So that's where we get to today, where the wash and go technique is here, and now the quality of the hair is better. So my hair looks better when it's in a wash and go, but please believe it was not without a journey. Okay, so that said, here are the pros to wearing the wash and goes. First one that I have here is it's a lot quicker to do. Child, it's a lot quicker to do. I have a video where I am showing a side-by-side comparison of I think a Braidout and a wash and go, and it's a really well edited video. I put my foot in that one, if I do say so myself. I will link that as well. But in that video, you can see me styling both hairstyles side by side like this, and then I just, you know, have one in color, the one that I'm talking about. And the wash and go was like, well, it was under 20 minutes. It was pretty short. It was pretty short of a process. So going from being a twist out natural where I was doing my hair for like over an hour or whatever to styling it in like that less than 20 minutes, yes please. All right, other pro, wash and goes are weather resistant. Okay, I live in Central Florida. I know a couple of you guys live here as well. Holla. But my hair, if the twist out, like if I went somewhere that was too humid, thankfully I was in Alabama primarily when I was a twist out natural. And then we moved to Delaware like right before I switched from being a twist out natural. So I really didn't have to experience that, even though Delaware can be pretty humid though. I will tell you, girl, be prepared. But I didn't really have as many issues with the weather on my hair. If it was too humid, yes, the twist out will begin to swell and whatever. But with my wash and goes, honey, if I get that cast right, and this hair is very casty, by the way, that's why you guys see me like moving. It's very casty because I just did it, and I don't break the gel cast off of my hair. I let it do what it do, boo, so it can last throughout the week. But when I go out with the cast on my hair, like I could go out right now, my hair's still gonna look like this. Like it's not going to react to the weather very much at all, unless those times when I experiment with gels, and then sometimes yes, the hair does react to the weather. But this probably is not going to react. So that's one thing that I really enjoy about it, especially because of where I live. Another pro, oh my gosh, I love this. My wash and go is unique to me. Yes, I do get people in my comments who are like, oh my gosh, your hair is like mine. And there may be some property of your hair that does mirror mine, like maybe the zigzag pattern throughout your hair, or maybe the way your hair reacts to water, the way your hair reacts to some products or whatever. But no one's gonna have all the qualities of exactly my hair. So when I do this hairstyle, you cannot replicate this and get exactly the hairstyle that I have. Like with the twist out, anyone can follow my twist out routine, do exactly what I did for the twist, and get probably, if not the same look, a very, very similar look. It's carbon copy. Every time I do twist, I feel like they look very like manufactured, very uniform. Whereas this, I mean, shoot, I might do 2 different wash and goes and they don't come out the same. It's the same products and everything. So I like the uniqueness of each individual wash and go, and I like the uniqueness of my wash and go when it comes to just me as a person. So here we go. Of course, there are cons to the wash and go. You know there are cons, right? First of all, it requires learning technique and finding products that work for your hair. So I definitely have a down pat technique that I use to achieve my best wash and go. I have mastered my wash and go. I mastered it, like 2-3 years ago. I know exactly how I like to do my wash and go to get the best results for my hair type. But I had to learn that. And also learning the products that work best for my hair. There are products that y'all love, and I put it on my hair and it looks like nothing. Okay, so there's definitely something that you have to learn that. And even beyond that, even when you have your technique down pat, you still have to learn how to use the individual products. There are some gels that I have to vary from my regular technique to make that gel have the best results. Like for instance, Soul Tentacles Drip and Grip. One of my technique things is I run water back over my hair and then smooth it back over. I cannot do that with the Soul Tentacles Drip and Grip because it loses definition. So to get the best look with that gel, I can't rinse water back over it. You know, I have to just style it and leave it alone. So there are technique things that one would have to master with the individual products, or just when it comes to learning how to do your wash and go for your hair. Okay, so another one. This can be a con. I put in the cons, even though I just said I liked it. But it never comes out looking exactly the same. If you're someone who you like your look to look how you want to look and you whatever, it's never going to come out exactly the same. There's always going to be something different. Like maybe this one had more of a cast than the last one. This one wasn't as shiny as this one. It's always going to vary. Like I can do the same thing, but I'm going to get different results. And that can be a little bit frustrating with the wash and go. Y'all, did y'all think I was done with the cons? No, I'm not. All right. And this one's kind of weird and petty, but wet wash and goes are mildly annoying, okay? When my hair is, because of all the rinsing and that I do when I do my wash and go, they're full of water. So my hair is full of water. The gel is holding the water in my hair. So you've got the weight of the hair, and my hair tends to hang quite a bit when it's wet and it's full with the gel, and the gel is kind of slimy, and then like you put your head down and your hair goes down too, and like you turn and then the water, the hair sloughs over your shoulder, and you get gel on the back of your shirts or whatever. You gotta wash your clothes. Sometimes I tie like my curly tea towel around my neck though and let it hang on the back. But like wet wash and goes are annoying. They really are. And you know, with me, the length and thickness of my hair, yes, I sit under the dryer and I can get it almost 100% dry, but I still got to sit there for a while. And like sometimes depending on the gel, some of my gels are thicker and they ain't gonna dry sitting underneath that dryer fully. So wet wash and goes, yes, very annoying. Since this video was about being a twist out natural, going to a wash and go natural, I'm actually going to link over here how I do my mini twist so you can see the exact routine I follow to get my twist and twist out. And then I'm gonna link over here my wash and go routine. Yes, it is from like 2 to 3 years ago, but not much has changed. I mean, that video probably isn't the best for the lighting and the way the results look, but literally, if you wanna know how I achieved any of the wash and goes on my channel, that would be it, all right? So please subscribe. I post videos every week, and I'll talk to you in the next one.